When I first confessed Christ in the early 80s, the culture war was raging here in the U.S. First, I wasn't particularly attuned to the issues, busy as I was getting involved with the church youth group and exploring my new relationship with Christ. But as time went on, I became more aware of the history of the U.S. and started reading widely and reading a lot of views that talked about American exceptionalism as concept, as a Christian country, that God had specially blessed us. And I started to take that seriously. I got more involved with politics here in Massachusetts and just thought, if we could just inform people, get them to vote the right way, we could preserve this American ideal, this American dream for another generation or two. I got more and more political as time went on. By the time I got married in 2000, I was driving people crazy with my views. Didn't they understand what's going on, what we had to do? I started to fall prey to thinking of people as the enemy, people who disagree with me politically, or in the other side, the other tribe. In their book, The Coddling of the American Mind, Greg Lukianoff and Jonathan Haidt describe how a particular cohort became incapable of grappling with the reality of other people who disagreed with them. And one of the reasons they cited for that was that these young people, this young cohort, had absorbed a fallacy of life, something the authors called the great untruths. And one of them was that life was a battle between good people and evil people. And I became dangerously close to adopting this worldview, thinking of people in the other tribe as the enemy, self-righteously. In fact, I eventually started to withdraw from that. Jesus' admonition, his apolitical stance on rendering unto Caesar, became more informed by reading C.S. Lewis' The Screwtape Letters, where Screwtape describes how the enemy would use a cause to undermine and eventually replace our Christianity. And I realized that these things, my Christian worldview, had indeed been entangled with politics, and that I had absorbed this fallacy. I repented of that eventually. I let it go. I swore off politics, and now I can happily report that I'm 15 years sober from political leanings. And I've been much more peaceful and my life full of joy ever since. Much easier to love people, even people who disagree with me. And now I'm happy to report that the culture war is lost a long time ago, at least here in the Boston area. So we're free to focus on loving our Father and to praying for those around us that they could absorb the good news of the gospel. Oh, Father, I pray that whoever needs to hear this message would be led to it. In Jesus' name.